The alarm is a piercing, metallic shriek that vibrates in your molars. You are face down on the concrete of the north yard. The temperature of the asphalt is 104 degrees, and it smells of industrial cleanser and copper. To your left, 3 feet away, a dark slick is expanding toward your hand. It is the lifeblood of a man whose name you never learned. Above you, the sky is a flat, uncaring blue, crisscrossed by the silhouettes of the tactical team on the catwalks. A flashbang detonates 50 yards away, a white-hot spike of sound that hollows out your hearing. You do not move. You do not look up. In this system, movement is a request for a rubber bullet or a gas canister. You are no longer a citizen. You are a biological unit under temporary management. The transition was not a single moment, but a series of subtractions. It began with the sound of a heavy bolt sliding home. They took your clothes and replaced them with coarse, oversized cotton dyed a synthetic orange. They took your hair with a dull clipper that left nicks on your scalp. They took your name and replaced it with a 7-digit string of integers. The first night is defined by the acoustics of the intake wing. It is never silent. There is the rhythmic thumping of a pipe, the distant, frantic shouting of a man in withdrawal, and the heavy, paced footsteps of the night shift guard. The air is recycled, smelling of floor wax and unwashed bodies. You sit on a thin, vinyl-covered slab of foam. The walls are cinder block, painted a shade of cream designed to suppress agitation, but the peeling paint reveals the gray bone of the building underneath. You are at the absolute bottom. You are a number in a ledger, a line item in a state budget. You realize by the 3rd hour of staring at the ceiling that the guards do not govern the interior. The interior belongs to the factions, and you are currently unclaimed property. Survival is a procedural advancement. You learn that neutrality is a fantasy. By the end of the first month, you have identified the 3 primary tiers of the social hierarchy. You do not choose a side out of ideology. You choose based on the geography of the cell block. You begin as a runner. You transport small items, tobacco, sharpened plexiglass, handwritten notes, between tiers during recreation hour. Promotion comes not through merit, but through the steady erosion of your hesitations. Year 3 brings your first assignment. It is a test of utility. You are told to stand watch at the end of the Tier 4 corridor while an older inmate is disciplined for a debt. You do not participate, but you do not interfere. Your silence is your application for a higher rank. When it is over, you are moved to a 2-man cell with a window. This is your promotion. Your responsibility increases. You are now responsible for the tax collection on your gallery. You manage the distribution of commissary goods. You learn to speak the language of quiet threats and precise compensation. The moral compromise is so gradual you barely feel it, like a slow drop in temperature that eventually freezes the blood. The system operates on creative compliance. There are the written rules in the inmate handbook, and then there are the unspoken protocols that actually govern your life. You learn the geometry of the yard, which corners are blind spots for the Type 3 security cameras and which guards can be bought for the price of a high-end sneaker. Survival requires an obsession with data. You know that the lunch rotation takes exactly 22 minutes. You know that a cell search, a toss, occurs every 14 days on a rotating schedule. You manage a small economy within the walls, a shadow bureaucracy. You facilitate trades. A month's worth of blood pressure medication for a pint of fermented fruit mash. A clean pair of boots for a favor to be named later. You understand that the administration needs you. They need the hierarchy to keep the peace. As long as the violence remains internal and quiet, the system remains stable. You are now a middle manager of misery, ensuring the gears turn without screeching too loudly. Time becomes a flat, gray sea. It has been 8 years since you felt the texture of grass or saw a horizon that wasn't bisected by razor wire. The letters from the outside stopped in year 5. The faces of your family have become blurry, like photographs left in the sun. When you look in the stainless steel mirror above your sink, you see a stranger. The lines around your eyes are deeper, and your posture has adapted to the prison slouch, a way of moving that looks relaxed but is primed for an immediate strike. Isolation is no longer a punishment. It is your default state. You find that you can no longer hold a conversation that doesn't involve an exchange of value. You have forgotten how to trust. Your nervous system is permanently calibrated to a condition-red state. Your heart rate never drops below 85 beats per minute, even in sleep. You are no longer a person who happened to go to prison. You are a part of the architecture. You are as much a fixture of the facility as the iron bars and the reinforced glass. The shattering happens on a Tuesday during a routine power maintenance window. The lights flicker and die. Usually, the backup generators kick in within 6 seconds. This time, they don't. The electronic locks on the maximum security wing click open simultaneously, a system failure that shouldn't be possible. The silence that follows is the most terrifying sound you have ever heard. Then the shouting begins. You are trapped in your cell with a man who has spent 20 years waiting for this exact darkness. A rival gang has bypassed the guard stations. You hear the wet slap of footsteps on the metal stairs. You realize that the order you helped build, the hierarchy you climbed, and the protection you paid for were all illusions. The system didn't protect you. It merely organized your demise. You are sitting in the dark, clutching a sharpened toothbrush handle, realizing that the 15 years you spent surviving were just a long, slow walk toward this specific hallway. The illusion of control vanishes, leaving only the raw, cold reality of the predator and the prey. The door slides open. The darkness of the tier is absolute, save for the flickering orange glow of a fire started in the laundry room. You step out. You do not feel fear anymore. You feel nothing. You move through the shadows, a ghost in an orange jumpsuit. 3 days later, the incident is over. The holes in the walls are patched with fresh concrete. The blood is power-washed from the asphalt of the north yard. Your name is removed from the cell door and placed in the inactive file in the basement archives. You are replaced within 48 hours. A new unit arrives on a bus, disoriented and nameless, staring at the cold steel and the rigid routines. They will start at the bottom. They will climb the ranks. They will believe they are different. The system is perfect. It is a closed loop. It does not need you to function. It only needs your space to be filled. The walls do not just keep the world out. They ensure that when you are gone, it is as if you never existed at all. The cycle begins again at the sound of the morning whistle.